Create leverage. Now, I want to give you two examples, but before I do, I want to talk about how you create leverage in a pitch presentation. Most sales pitches are oriented and they start with about us, some features, some benefits, and towards the end of the presentation, they will get around this stage as to how might these features solve a problem for the other side. Now, that's a big mistake and that's a big no. You create leverage in a sales presentation or in a pitch presentation, not by solving a problem, but by amplifying the problem. Now, that's a big mindset shift. Take a moment and look around you on the things that you've bought or the solutions that you've bought from a business sense. When have you bought them? Have you bought them because you liked a feature in a phone? Have you ever bought a car because you liked one of the features in a car? Or have you really bought solutions when you really understood that there was a big problem? Now let's look at two examples and it'll become very clear. I was working once with this large German manufacturing company. They're the world leaders in lubrication solution for plants. Now, they're the best in the world at what they do. They minimize your costs, and their sales process was about 18 months long. They would enter a shop floor, do trials with their lubricants, prove some economic value, move up the chain from the shop floor to the production head, finally to the decision makers, and hope to get a decision in their favor. 18-month-long sales cycle. Why? Because they were so hell-bent on proving a solution and then making their way up the ladder to finally get a value for the solution that they've already proven. A great model works worldwide, but it takes 18 months. So what do? We went there and I asked them a simple question. What is the problem that you're solving? And they changed their sales presentation model to amplify the problem and go straight at the top rather than starting at the bottom. You know the problem they were solving? They changed their sales pitch and their presentation to something like this. World over, when you use any lubrication solution for the expensive machines that you've bought in your plant, you spend a certain amount on the lubricant, but that's not where it ends. Any lubricant solution that you test and that is even validated by an OEM supplier would mean about 20% reduction of the shelf life of your machine. It means that you're spending 23% more on your labor costs. It means that you're spending 12% more on the additional raw material that goes wasted as a result of using a wrong lubricant because it spoils your machine and ruins your cycle, and it means increased costs in the time that your machines are unproductive. They totaled all this up and it was millions of dollars of cost to a company which could easily have been added on the bottom line. Now, when you make a sales presentation like this, that you are spending X amount here and an X amount here and a Y amount there and a Y amount there, and all this adds up to this, and I'm going to show you in a meeting how to save at least 50% of it within the next 3 months, where do you think who will be the decision maker for this meeting? I was working with an accounting software, the leading accounting software in this country, and they own the market. They virtually own the market, but they were struggling with their sales growth. And the reason was that the consumers didn't know that they wanted the product. Now, every business needs an accounting solution, but how would you choose one? You can't, because you go and you tell your chartered accountant and he gets the job done. So I went and told these guys that I don't know that I have a problem to need you. And then they started working around with this. Instead of selling features of what the accounting product could do, they went around painting the town red with problem in the absence of one. You might not be able to comply, you might not know the updates in the GST, you might not know the VAT solution, you might not know the credits that are due to you from the government, you might not file in time, and they totaled it up that the government, if you are actually complying with everything, there are refunds due to you each year and you're not even aware of it. By amplifying the problem, their sales growth doubled almost 200 to 300% ever since for the last 6 years in a row. Small correction. The product is the same. The deliverable is the same. The target market is the same. No absolute addition in the R&D processes and stuff. Only thing that they changed is to communicate properly the problem that you are solving. You could be as large as Freudenberg or as large as Tally, but if you're not able to create leverage through the very problem that you're solving by amplifying it, you're not going to make a successful pitch. It's not about the solution. We've been fed that wrongly in our heads. It's about the problem. When the problem is big enough, as a business owner, you don't mind starting with a small solution to make a baby step towards solving the big problem. But if the problem is so tiny, you don't want to spend your time in solving a problem which has no meaning. So is the problem that you are solving, does it have meaning enough for you to get you in front of the table right bang on with the CEO, with the decision maker? If not, you haven't figured out the problem yet. Go figure it out.